Wealth is a Choice podcast. Boom.
Let's listen to it. Let's listen to it.
All right, Chris.
All right.
I'm looking forward to this one. This is a subject that I have a fantasy on, but I know very little about, which is I have a fantasy that America can produce a whole bunch of stuff again, and I think that is possible. And I have people around me that tell me it's not, and so I don't know if it's all in my mind, a daydream, and I don't know if you're going to tell me today that it is a daydream in my mind or if there's some possibility there. So I really don't know what to expect.
Right.
As an investor, some of the things I pay attention to are GDP, some of the economic sector, stuff like that. And manufacturing used to make up about 30% of our economy back in the 80s, and now it makes up less than 10% of our economy. If I read through the national security strategy of Biden's in 2022 and Trump's in 2025, especially after COVID, they have an acute awareness of the fact that we don't manufacture enough anymore.
Nope.
We've got dependence on supply chains in foreign nations, some of them that aren't friendly to us. And there's a huge effort to manufacture more here in our country.
Sure.
So I know the effort's there. I know the desire there. I just don't know how it happens. And I'm hoping you can help me understand that today.
I'll do my best.
All right.
All right.
So you've been in this for a long time. We've known each other since college, fraternally brothers.
Yeah.
I remember you went off to school in Iowa when I was still at Siena Heights. Mm-hmm. Kind of shocked me, I'll be honest with you. Like,
me too.
Chris is going to go get his master's. I didn't know that you were the smart one in the household.
I wasn't. I landed in a good situation and took advantage of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your experience been with manufacturing? That's a real open...
I started out in law enforcement and criminal justice for the first couple years of my career after I got out of grad school.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough. I graduated with a master's degree in criminal justice and got an MBA at the same time. So I came back and worked for the state of Michigan, and I was working on an appointment with the Drug Enforcement Administration. And long story short, a friend, Shelley Liziness, called me and said, "Hey, Ford wants to talk to you about a potential job." I had never been to an assembly plant before, so I'm like, well, if not anything else, at least I get to go to a Ford plant. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Went in for an interview, got home. They offered me a position. I countered because I didn't need a job, and they accepted my counter.
Yeah.
So I started at Ford. Well, it was Visteon at the time. They had just spun off a Ford, but a Ford plant. They are all Ford workers, essentially processes as well. September of 2000. Started as a supervisor. Didn't really know much about manufacturing. And my dad told me to fold my diplomas up and put them in my pocket.
Okay.
Shut my mouth, open my ears.
Okay.
And listen to the people that are there, that have been there the longest, that know the ins and outs of manufacturing, and learn.
Yeah. Your dad was in concrete, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was in foundations, heavy foundations.
People Mover in Detroit?
People Mover in Detroit, Renaissance Center, Pontiac Silverdome, Ford Field, Tiger Stadium, anything big in Detroit, he probably put the foundations in.
Okay.
Yeah. So took the job there as a supervisor in a very, very difficult area on third shift, which was a younger crew. So it had its learning curve.
Yeah.
And then kind of cut my teeth there, just learning processes and people and in the ins and out of getting something from point A to point B. We were building alternators at the time, which was a big commodity for Ford. And the pull from our area was huge. The line ran 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day. So I started as a supervisor and then got promoted to manufacturing planning specialist. So I kind of ran the whole area on afternoons. Mm-hmm. And then after a while promoted to the plant operations manager. At that time, they switched back over to Ford. The union was huge in the plant I was at. and I probably did that till about 2015. Became a team manager through some circumstances. I had to switch to day shift, so I took an open position, ran Ford Transportation for a while, but then I was offered a position as the lean manufacturing manager for North American Light Truck.
Okay.
So I slid into a staff role, but it was pretty rewarding. I worked directly with the director of manufacturing. I was in charge of, at that time, I think 4 plants, and through the years they'd switch. But I think Ohio Assembly, Dearborn Truck Plant, Kansas City Assembly Plant, both sides of the plant, because they manufactured the transit van and F-150.
What year did you get hired in there originally?
2000.
Okay. So you've been working with manufacturing for 25 years now.
Yeah, this year will be 26.
26, yeah.
26, yep. So I did that job and learned a lot about launch. I launched the Aviator, helped launch the Aviator and the new Explorer out of Chicago. I helped launch the heavy duty 450, 550, 650 out of Ohio Assembly. And then finally in 2022, helped launch the Rouge Electrical Vehicle Center at Dearborn Truck for the F-150 Lightning.
Okay.
Which obviously you've heard probably a lot about recently.
Yeah.
At that time, I kind of thought that my kids were functional, capable people. They were both seniors in college and getting ready to graduate. And I was presented with the opportunity to go to a Tier 1 supplier, Challenge Manufacturing, as the Director of Operational Excellence. So in January of 2023, I took that job. Set up the operating structure for the company, and then on the manufacturing side, set up pillars of operating systems, if you will,
Okay.
for them. Kind of linked everything to corporate goals and objectives, cascaded that throughout the organization so everybody had kind of a little piece of the pie, and then realized that the support teams, the advanced manufacturing team, the launch group, accounting, FP&A, HR, needed some sort of similar structure, so they knew that who their customers were,
Okay.
and what their goals should be to help those people, the manufacturing team, achieve their goals. In the spirit of it, to develop collaboration, cross-functional teamwork. So I set up a similar structure for those teams and then handed it off to all the vice presidents in the company. I was getting ready to leave Challenge, and then they asked me to stay on board to become the director of manufacturing. That was in March of 25.
Okay.
Went down to Spartanburg, South Carolina for a leadership summit, and realized that plant down there that we were launching, our first integrated body shop, was struggling, and ended up staying there for 6 months. Hiring a whole new leadership team there, helped develop processes and really build a culture with our customer who was in the same building, Oshkosh Defense. And then just tried to really drive the launch process and integrate the teams to understand how the process works so we could get some throughput, improve quality, the whole 9 yards. We were building the next generation United States Postal Delivery truck for United States Postal Service.
Okay.
Was working a lot of hours, and long story short, just couldn't keep up,
Yeah.
to be honest. And came back to Michigan, took a position back at one of the plants here as, I think it was an assistant plant manager.
Okay.
And then they did a RIF, a reduction in force, and I was a part of that, and it was probably the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah. I know you were burned out.
I was dead. I was working a lot of hours, and it just wasn't conducive to a healthy lifestyle. So, in the meantime, got my shoulder fixed because I had to do some things, and then help the kids
Catch up
move
with
and
life,
catch
yeah.
up with life, and wasn't sure what I wanted to go back and do.
Yeah.
You know, do I want to do something totally different, or I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So I just took some time and stumbled across this company called Dunnage Engineering, with a tier 2 supplier. They manufacturing dunnage for shipping containers and racks and stuff like that. So I'm in my 3rd week there.
Okay.
As a plant operations manager.
Okay.
And it's literally, like I said, like 4 minutes from my house. So no more long commutes or anything like that. I'm able to just go to work and do my thing, and hopefully I can set up some processes and things there to try to streamline some things and get it from being people dependent to process dependent, and hope it's
So you've been
good deal.
in it for 25 years or 26 years. You've seen this natural decline that's taken place in our country. So you were part of that. I mean, you were working in it that entire time. And did you see like the necessity for us to offshore more manufacturing, or what was the reason? What did you see go offshore?
I think it was, to be honest, I don't know. I mean, I didn't really at the time pay attention to all the inputs, financial, geopolitical.
Do you know if that alternator is still made here?
No, it's not. No, they outsourced that to, I think it went to Denso. So a lot of things in 06, 07, when the market was falling apart, significantly changed, right? I know Ford went to a tier 2 wage structure. And I was one of the first groups that were hired in a salary that weren't offered a pension too through Ford, right? So most of the legacy people that are retiring now are the last of the pension group, right? That get a pension from Ford. The old school, you would think, manufacturing groups, and now it's completely different, right? And I think it was due to cost. I think costs were getting out of control for one reason or another. And I think the quickest thing that the companies could do were to control the inputs that they could control, which is, labor. Right. So the labor market took a huge hit. And it was a big gap between the old school factory folks to the new group coming in, right? You have people doing similar jobs and getting paid completely different wage structure.
Do people in manufacturing, can you make a good living right now?
I mean, I don't know what constitutes a good living. Can they afford the products they build? Most of them, no.
Really?
Right? Unless they're working overtime. And most overtime has been cut. Right.
So the idea that manufacturing will rebuild the middle class, is that?
I think that's the middle class is a dying breed. I think we've eliminated the middle class through a lot of different things, a lot of different reasons, right? Which is sad because that was a backbone of our country growing up, you and I.
Oh, yeah.
We're middle class kids, hardworking parents. Most of them stayed with their companies their whole lives, or whatever they chose to do. And now there's so much distraction in the world. It's hard to get that immediate gratification through standing at a job for 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, pulling in overtime, because you get used to it, right?
I hear things like, I don't know if this is true, the number exactly, but like a car goes across the back and forth from Canada 30 times before it's fully assembled or something like that. I don't know if 30 is a good number to use, but point is, I hear that, parts go back and forth from our country to other countries, and then finally the whole thing gets put together.
Oh, the logistics on the automotive is unbelievable.
I've never understood, again, this is a very naive world to me, manufacturing, but I've never understood how is it more cost effective to have pieces and parts go back and forth all around the world and eventually get assembled here in the States. How does that end up being cheaper? And my own naive head, like, did a few of that start off cheaper, And then we've developed this entire global network of manufacturing. And now we've got people located all around the entire world working supply chains and everything. And is that still cheaper than if we employed them here and cut a lot of that out? I get how it started to be cheaper, but in my own naive world, I wonder, to have that entire web of network all around the world, is that even still cheaper?
I mean, it must have been. I mean, they obviously have really smart people working the numbers and crunching costs and things like that, because obviously the goal is to minimize the costs and maximize the profits, right? But you start thinking about those logistical nightmares, and then even if everything flows perfectly, right onto the line, right onto the truck or car or whatever they're building, it's value add. But imagine if there's a quality issue someplace in that chain, how things can get completely out of whack very quickly, right?
Can you give an example?
Yeah, I mean, you've got parts that are coming from different countries, right? And they show up blindside, or they show up and, they come to the line, and all of a sudden there's an issue with them.
Okay.
Well, how far back do you go? Where's the front door? Where's the back? The front door is easy to find, right? Your quality problem. But where's the back door? How far does it go? Do you have parts on the water? Do you have parts being manufactured incorrectly? It's not a quick snap of a finger. Hey, let me run, down to Ohio and check out this, tier 1 supplier. Let's fix their issue and get some parts up here quick.
Right.
That's not the way it works anymore. So, there's a lot of bumps in the system sometimes that can cause pretty catastrophic failures.
COVID brought about that reality shock. And prior to COVID, was there anything like, there wasn't anything like COVID that brought about that supply chain shock? Not that I heard of.
No, I mean, COVID was really tough. I mean, and there was so much uncertainty with COVID.
Is the shock big enough that are manufacturers going back to full-on globalization?
I think some.
They kind of forgot about the shock already.
Yeah, I think some. I think it just. I mean, it just depends on what it is, right? If you can bring manufacturing back to the United States and figure out a way to do it, then I think that's happening. But I mean, manufacturing jobs aren't really viewed like they used to be viewed, in my opinion, right?
Okay.
I mean, they used to be great jobs for people. You come out of high school, get a job at Ford. I mean, was like pretty good for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You do pretty good now. I mean, work at McDonald's for as much as sometimes, right? It's just it's hard to say what's going to work and what's not going to work. The other thing I think that's even more of a problem, right, is our trades, our skilled trades, the erosion of that as a preferred career for younger people. And that, I mean, knocks on the door of all kinds of other questions, right, with our education system and post-secondary education and what's important. Do we have the right training, and do we have the right people going into that? Because it's very hard to recruit tradesmen. I mean, those guys are, there are industrial athletes, right? Yeah. Millwrights, skilled tool makers, electricians, pipe fitters. I mean, those people are really hard to find.
Yeah. Well, when you and I went to school, we had still trades classes we could take in high school.
Sure.
And then everything became college ready.
Yep.
Graduation requirements, college ready. And a lot of those, I had auto shop, I had electrical, I had drafting.
Yeah.
This is up in Manistee.
Yeah.
Small school.
Yeah.
And they had building and even, I think, timber. I think they had lumber up there.
They probably did, right?
And a lot of that got cut out because it was you're going to college or you didn't succeed or whatever.
That's what the goal was.
Yeah.
And now, is college the right move? Does it make sense to go to college for 4 years?
Not for a lot of people.
To pay $50,000 a year to learn something out of a book, to repeat what you're hearing? It's tough, right?
Yeah.
So
student loan debt.
Right. You come out of college and you're $50,000, $100,000 in debt already, and then you're competing in jobs that are hard to find, and
just the math on if you're 20 years old and you can sock away 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 grand into your 401k. By the time you're 30 years old, you've paid for over half of your entire retirement. You
Yeah,
know?
but how many kids are doing that? How
Well,
many kids
well,
learn to do
if
that?
you go to college, it's pretty hard. You obviously,
Right.
you know, you've got whatever debt you have after school. So most kids aren't getting really started on that until age 30. And if more people right out of high school learned how to do trades and they got in on trades,
Yeah,
you know, they could do it.
absolutely.
But-
And those jobs are really tough to fill right now. I mean, tough to find skilled tools
Is that
makers.
different than working on the line?
Oh, absolutely.
It is.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
explain it to me.
working on the line as an operator, really, you're in charge of a workstation.
Okay.
At the base level, right? You're in charge of a workstation, and you add value to whatever you're assembling, right? So, depends on what you're building. How are you utilized? Most of your time's utilized adding value to the unit. So when it goes to the next station, they add more and more and more.
Is it a difficult
right?
job?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is, right?
Okay.
I mean, imagine standing in a hot environment for 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day.
But it doesn't pay well?
Doesn't, I mean, not like it used to, right?
Okay.
Right. I don't know what the hourly rate wages are right now for
Okay.
the OEMs, but I'm assuming it's probably 20, 22 an hour, maybe.
For starting out?
For starting out, right?
Okay.
And then if you get overtime, sure, you can make money, but the cost of living now is such that it might not be a good fit. But, you know, most of the people that work in factories see those parts and those machines more than they see their own friends and family.
Okay.
So it's a
Because
tough...
they have a lot of overtime?
Yeah, well, because, you're there 40 hours, 50, 60. If you get overtime, you're most likely not going to turn it down,
Yeah.
right? Because where are you going to go to make that kind of money?
Right.
Right. So, and then the company needs you so they can force mandatory overtime because they might be, behind schedule or whatever the case may be. So I think, it's a real tough job, and it's tough on your body. It's tough to stay mentally aware of what's going on, free from distraction, because there's all kinds of things that can happen, and it's a tough gig. Whereas skilled trades are obviously the ones that when there's a machinery breakdown, they come and fix it.
Okay.
They can get a little bit of information on what's going on, and then they have to diagnose, hey, what's the root cause of failure? How can I get it running, right? How do I do it safely? How does it not...
Is their pay different based on their results?
Yeah, well, not the results, no, but their pay structure is different.
Okay.
Because it's a skill job.
Okay.
Yeah, so... but like I
I've
said,
heard of like some car mechanics where I've read an article where they get paid based on like how many transmissions they can take out in the day. So it's not like an hourly thing.
that's not a piece price. No, it's
Yeah.
not. All the people I've ever dealt with are hourly people.
Okay.
Yep. But it's a tough environment to work, right? I mean, factories are hot and factories are sometimes dirty, and you gotta come in with the right mindset to stand there and do that job all day. You can't leave.
Yeah.
You can't just say, oh, I'm tired, I'm going to go take a break.
Yeah.
No, you get, 2 10, 15-minute breaks, a half-hour lunch, and that's about it.
Because the line's moving.
The line's moving.
So what's it look like in one of these places?
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
To think that someone could take a piece of land and construct a manufacturing facility is unbelievable.
Okay.
It's just unbelievable how things come together in a way that produces something that actually works, right? Because there's so many hands involved. And there's a lot of good people doing a lot. And there are long days and launches and of plants and processes aren't easy. There's a lot of things that can happen, and you just have to have a pretty robust system and use what works.
Okay. So we've got enough talent. Do we have enough talent in our country to build these plants? And I mean,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
so what don't we know how to do, manufacture-wise?
What don't we know how to do manufacturing?
Like
wise?
there's complex manufacturing, there's more
Sure.
simple manufacturing. Do we make nuts and bolts in our country?
Oh, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah,
That'd be simple.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Okay.
Right?
So
there's
we
tool
can do
shop.
everything? Or
Yeah.
just
we can
at
do
a
it.
higher cost? Or
Yeah, we can do everything, but just at a higher cost, right?
and we're good quality on everything? Or are we getting beat at some places?
I mean, we
quality?
could beat some places, right? Some places beat quality, just like anything else. Like one McDonald's is good, the other one down the road might be horrible,
Okay.
right? But it's just what you put into it, right? I've kind of always lived by, and this came from Ford, and I've used it forever, right? Is there a standard? Is it understood? Are they following it? Is it delivering the right results? Right? There's a recipe to how to make things. You just got to follow it, right? So sometimes you don't, for one reason or another, and that's where problems arise.
Okay.
So you try to just contain as much as you can and look at reducing waste and move forward.
All right. So tariffs are a tool being used right now to force onshoring, penalize people for producing somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
When I read through Biden's 2022 strategy, Trump's 2025 national security strategy, it's intently focused on reshoring and building a manufacturing base, a military manufacturing base, equipment, building it here. So if it's a tariff or something else, from what I read, there's going to be pressure by the government, by Washington. I don't know what forces they have on people besides the tariff or something like that. But there's going to be pressure. Is there resistance for manufacturing to onshore? Do you know, or do you see that there's a resurgence, or is there any change at all in the desire to manufacture?
I mean, everybody wants everything manufactured back in the United States, right?
Okay.
The people, at least that I talk to.
Okay.
Obviously.
And have they wanted that for a long time?
Absolutely.
They have.
I mean, when things get shipped out and they go overseas, you don't like to see that, right? We want to keep the jobs here for our people.
Okay.
To do them, but for one reason or another, at the time, a lot of those manufacturing jobs left.
Okay.
And that was a tough situation.
Yeah.
Now, as they come back, obviously that's fantastic. It gives people, opportunities for careers. It gives people opportunities to learn, and it obviously drives our country. Now, will we ever get back to the way it was? I don't know. That's down the road. But we need to stick to a strategy.
Okay.
Right? I mean, shuffling strategies is tough.
You mean tariffs, or you mean that as a strategy, or
whatever the strategy may be, right? I don't, if they're looking to try to bring manufacturing back, is it really leveraging a tariff that's going to bring it back, or are we bringing it back for the right reasons? I would hope we're bringing it back for the right reasons, because we want to have better employment opportunities for the people that live in our country. But when we switch between, ICE, and we switch to go to electric, and there's all these incentives to go to electric, but we're not going to electric now. So all that work that was done to go into that direction has now shifted.
Okay.
And now we're going back to ICE, internal combustion. Right? But look at gas now, right?
Yeah.
It's $4.50, $4.50 a gallon almost.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Right? So I think a lot of the plans to go electric have kind of been pushed to the side because the mindset's different. So that shift has costed manufacturing billions of dollars to try to get back to where we were.
Right.
So,
yeah, I don't know what you do about that. We have elections every 4 years, and
I don't.
And
just to stay ahead.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. And it's tough, right? Because you've got people making decisions that
the underlying core is that the government recognizes we've got a huge security risk by not manufacturing more. So, in my head, there's going to be pressure. And with whatever form it's going to take, there's going to be pressure to bring manufacturing back.
Absolutely. I agree. but it's got to come back and stay
Yeah.
and not shift again.
Right.
Right. Because it is just.
So, which means the fundamentals have to work regardless of the incentive,
Yeah, I mean, I
or
think
regardless of the penalty.
I would think.
Is AI helping with that and more automation and stuff? Is that, do you seeing that happen yet?
No, I haven't really seen that. Right.
Not yet.
Automation has been going.
That's a constant.
Yeah,
improvement.
I mean, you're always looking. Automation
Yeah.
can, you're always looking to reduce the amount of waste in your system, right? So, why leave it up to the human condition to pick the right part when you can program something and you know what's going to happen every time,
Right.
right? I think automation helps with that. I think automation also helps with alleviating some of the jobs that are a little bit more dangerous, whether it's ergonomic reason or whether it's just a difficult job to perform, or it's a critical to quality job. Automation helps there, but you still need people to make decisions,
Right.
So AI, I'm sure it's going to come into play eventually. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I haven't seen it.
All right. So I think I'm going to ask. I think what I want to do is I'm going to do a little case study, a real life example. Show
Okay.
me why something is complicated. All right.
Okay.
So I've got a patent on a gambrel. You know what a gambrel is?
No.
Use it for processing deer.
Oh,
You know me,
wonderful. Yeah. Okay.
I think you gave me the Uper nickname back in college. So I'm still
right.
one.
Right.
Yeah. So, anyways, when you harvest a deer,
Mm-hmm.
you hang it up, you skin it.
I remember your deers
You
hanging.
remember that?
And we'd bump into them at night.
All right.
Right. Porch
So-
light was broken.
So I've got a patent on a gambrel, and I will not manufacture it in China, so I have not made very many of them.
Made in the USA.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
basically my prototype has been, so there's two parts to it. There's a gambrel and this tree cleat, and in this has cost me, I don't know, like $100 to make.
Sure.
I only made like 10 of them
Okay.
on my first run. To me, this looks extremely simple.
Pretty simple. Well,
It looks very simple to me.
okay.
What's unique about it is that it has one curved hook and one flat hook, and this enables one person to process the deer.
Okay.
Because if it had two rounded hooks, maybe you could. You're stronger than I
I
am.
don't know anymore.
You cannot lift half of a body of a deer off of this hook to remove it from the hook so that you can quarter it.
Mhm.
The only way you can do it is just slide one. You can grab it and you can slide it off the hook, and then the rest
It
of the deer
hangs.
hangs like
Right.
that.
Okay.
So, and then the other thing is that it's got a cleat on it because you're pulling it up and down on a rope to vary the height.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can just tie it off on this cleat.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, you might remember I'd have a rope, I'd wrap it around the tree like 20 times.
Sure.
So then this is a tree cleat. This clamps onto the tree, and then you can just tie off on this cleat. You can raise the deer up and down if you want to raise it like 20 feet up in the
Like
air.
a
And then
little
you can,
pulley system.
Right.
Okay.
So anyways, see, it's even still got some deer blood on it. I didn't know if I
Nice.
didn't fully clean it off. So why is this so hard for me to find a place to manufacture it in our country? Do you know? Like, what's so complicated about it? Do you know?
No, I don't. Unless there's some. We're kind of the welds don't look complicated.
No, and this is stainless, but it doesn't
Right.
have to be. It could,
could
be
be
powder,
anything, yeah.
steel and power
Yeah.
coated.
I think you're just looking in the wrong locations.
I haven't found one yet.
There's little machine shops. You
Well,
can't-
little machine shops do small runs
How many?
for like a lot of money.
Right. Well, that's true too.
Yeah.
So what's your cost in? There's not much cost in this, right?
Nah. And this is stainless, but it doesn't have to be. I just did stainless for my prototype runs because I think
Because it looks cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why that would
So
cost you.
you can buy this at Cabela's, not my version,
Uh huh.
for like $20-25.
And where are they making them?
In China.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right. So again, labor cost, right? Is probably expensive to find a place to do that because it looks like it's all hand welded, right? So
Yeah.
there's no automation in that probably, right? So it's just a couple jigs and some welding.
I don't know of
That's
any
it.
big manufacturers in our country. Like, you've worked for companies that manufacture their product.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't found manufacturers in our country, and I'm sure I haven't scoured the nation,
No.
but that manufacture a lot of product at scale for a lot of companies. Usually it's a company that makes something and they manufacture it in their shop. Or they might have a supplier that helps complete the product for them.
Right.
Are you aware of manufacturers like when I hear have it made in China? I've never been there. I'm assuming it's going to some huge ass plant that's manufacturing a shit ton of product from a lot of different companies all under one roof.
Probably.
I'm assuming.
Right.
I don't know of anything that we have like that here in our country.
No, I don't know. Most of our, commodities are by different suppliers, right? So you have your OEMs and you have your tier ones, which are your bigger suppliers, and you have tier twos that supply to tier one. You have tier threes that go to two, right? So it's like a stack up, if
Right.
you will. And you just send out work and people bid on it, and you just, if they can do it, then you get your samples and your tool trials. And
So I don't remember what percentage small business makes up in our nation, but we know it's huge,
oh yeah,
huge.
yeah,
And so overseas, China, just keep using China because they're the majority of it, have built a system that caters to small business being able to do their manufacturing for them. Because there's no way, like, I'm not going to start a company, I'm not going to start a manufacturing plant to build my gambrels. I'm not doing that.
you could,
I guess.
right?
How much money am
I don't know.
My
With
wife
that,
wouldn't-
not much.
Chris wouldn't let me.
No.
So I don't know. I think part of the challenge is that if you're a big business and you're manufacturing all over the place, like Ford or GM or something like that, you can bring some of that back. I don't know what the solution is for a small business that wants to manufacture something, and it's being solved for by some big plant in China maybe. I don't know what their solution is because they don't have a manufacturing facility on
I think
site.
the solution for a small place, right, is to be nimble, right? To be able to shift and meet customer needs,
Yeah.
right? And then obviously with the right timing and the right quality. When you find places like that, similar to the place I'm at right now, it's a lot of niche work, right? It's one-offs. It's like a job shop, if you will, right?
Okay.
So you don't get into those long bulk manufacturing runs. You are able to shift and change over and jump to a different job, right? There's a skill in that, right? Being able to have the right equipment, first of all, to do that is obviously essential.
Mm-hmm.
But to have the ability to do it at a cost that's competitive with China or wherever offshore is the key. And able to get those jobs, the best ones are the ones that have good customer relationships, right? They have an ability to communicate quickly. They have ability to react quickly. They often add value, right?
These are manufacturing companies that can produce product for a variety of companies, you're saying?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, right? Very rarely will you have a tier one, tier two, tier three that's only providing to one customer,
Okay.
right? They have multiple customers.
Okay.
Challenge manufacturing.
Is tier
work
one,
like
tier three, that's only automotive?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's just by size, right?
Okay.
But you have multiple customers. You don't just, you're not going to be just a tier one supplier or tier two, just to Ford, right?
Yeah.
You diversify.
Yeah.
So
I know sometimes parts and cars look similar to another.
yeah, they look pretty similar, but trust me, they're not,
Yeah.
right? But it's a
But they
rapport,
came from the same supplier.
right? But it's the
probably.
rapport you have with your customer,
Yeah.
your ability to add value to their process, your ability to work collaboratively with them
Yeah.
to solve problems.
So I don't know of what extent we've built up suppliers for small businesses in our country.
We probably haven't done that very well.
I think that's part of the problem right now.
That's part of the problem. But the other part of the problem, who's willing to take that risk to go in to say, I'm going to be a small supplier.
I don't know. If it's a national security strategy, I was kind of hoping, the government subsidizes a lot. Maybe they would help build some of those initial plants out.
Well, I think
I should be able to call someplace up and say I'd like 1,000 gambrels, and get them built. At a reasonable price.
Yeah, that's the thing that would kill you, right? Because they might
without them having to retool the entire. I don't even understand what retooling means, but that they have a facility that's set up to be nimble, like you're saying.
I mean, you got to be able to have the right tools and the right equipment to run multiple different tools to assemble, kind of something like that.
We need one big one, one big one in our country to start off with. We've developed suppliers for big business, but I don't know of them that we have developed for small business.
No, usually it's usually it's a one-off, right? Where a company will come to you and say, "Hey, can you do this?"
Yeah.
And you have to take a look at your shop and say, "Am I able to produce something like that at a cost that's competitive?"
So I got Paul at CMP. He's out in Sterling Heights area, and he's manufactured these and grills and all kinds of stuff. But they do smaller runs. If I were to pay them to do a big run, it'd be pretty expensive. They do. For me, they do my invention type stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's amazing. I love it.
And
they're amazing at it.
And
there's a power coat place across the street.
Mm-hmm.
There's another leather place down the road. There's a wood place. I mean, that little area is a gold mine.
Yeah, and I mean,
for getting small runs done for me.
They might even be using scrap material from something else that they're producing to produce your stuff, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. That looks like a nice grill grate right there, to be honest with you.
Maybe they made it from my extra grill stuff.
Right, absolutely. So it just depends on what kind of value they can add to your company to maintain those relationships.
Do you know on the big scale manufacturing, the specialized and simple manufacturing? I heard somebody tell me a while ago, this is months ago, he's like they get a lot of production down in Mexico, and Mexico was doing a lot of their simple manufacturing, he said, but they're trying to train them to do more of the specialized manufacturing, which I hated to hear. Do you know if there's the big companies, have they done? Is that where the simple stuff got offshored, and we do more complex stuff in our country?
No, I think what they'll send a project, and then go in there and help them figure it out. Right? Okay. I don't necessarily think that those companies that started overseas just started out on their own, right? They had to get some help, and they have resources as well. But their main resource is their labor, right? Their labor costs are a fraction of what, we provide. And then you talk about, even on top of the labor cost is the fringe cost, right? And, everything else that comes with employing someone. It's a big cost to a company. And then, it's just more economically feasible sometimes to do it in Mexico, where their wages aren't nearly what ours are.
Do you think we like manufacturing here? Is there any areas that wanted the plant to leave?
No.
Because they don't like the CO2 that it emits.
Sure. You're always going to have some of that, right? Yeah. Someone's always going to say, "Hey, this isn't a sustainable green initiative by this X company. We don't want it here." Okay. But for the most part,
that's not been the driver.
No, and if companies are doing things wrong that are hurting the environment where they're in the community, that's not really good news, right? Yeah. So everywhere I've ever worked, everyone's tried to be a great, corporate citizen to work with the community. Right. You're offering people employment, right? So you want to be a part of the community, not against the community.
Right. Yeah. That's your bread and butter.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. I'm kind of surprised to hear that the the wages aren't better than I was seeing this as you keep hearing it talked about as a resurgence of the middle class, and I don't know where that comes from then.
I don't know where that comes from either, because the middle class is eroding, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what is it, the middle class anymore? Is it a 50 grand to 150 grand? Is that the middle class now?
It's more. I don't know.
I don't know what it is
head.
anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, when jobs aren't available to have a sustained career, that's, I think, what founded the middle class, right?
Yeah.
We're going to go here and work, and I'm going to have a career, and I'm going to be able to afford a family and have kids, and be able to maybe go on a vacation here or there.
Yeah.
I don't know necessarily on a single family income if that's available anymore.
Do you think if more manufacturing jobs were here, wages would go up, or we have the workers that would want to take those jobs, and there'd be more competition for the labor, and the wages would go up? Or
I think the wages, that really depends on the company, right? What's the company willing to invest in their employees? That's where it all comes from. Can they attract an employee for $20 an hour and keep that employee?
mm-hmm.
Or do they pay them $30 an hour, and that'll really attract a lot of people?
Mm-hmm.
And can those people stay? That
Yeah.
whole wage structure is very interesting, on how it maintains a workforce over time. Because right now, I mean, people job shop all the time. I mean, they'll leave your facility to go down the road because they're paying $2 more.
Yeah.
But what are those things that are keeping people at a company to minimize churn? Because that's a huge cost in manufacturing. You spend 6 months training someone, and all of a sudden they're gone.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, now I got to go back and train somebody else and cover the opening
Yeah.
with either overtime or someone doing their work, right? So it's really hard to maintain that labor force within your manufacturing facility. And I think companies now are looking at different ways to do that.
What's the union role been, positive, negative, over the years?
I mean, I guess it's perspective. Like I love the unions. I mean, the unions are the one that essentially built the middle class, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're there for the people doing the job, the voice of the worker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Making sure that corporate greed, lack of a better term, isn't prevalent, right? And the people are being taken care of. Now, does it work? Absolutely. Does it not work? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It just depends on how the company works with the unions.
Okay.
I worked in both facilities, and union, non-union. It all depends, right? But I've always had a really good working relationship with the union because I respect the history and what they do for people and how you can utilize their help to drive change.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had a problem with it. But where are the unions going now? What are their stance on all this, right? They don't like seeing these jobs going out of country, right? They're proponents of bringing everything back in.
Right.
But is their power what it used to be? I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's a great case study. I'd love to have a case study on the automotive industry from 05 to 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting.
What would you be looking for?
Just the degradation of the middle class,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
When they went to tier 2 wage structures and, the erosion of our skilled trades in our teachings, and are working collaboratively with post-secondary education. I mean, our apprenticeships. I mean, sure, the OEMs are great, but at some of the lower manufacturing facilities, they might not be there.
Yeah.
So everyone's kind of grappling for the talent. The talent's going to go where the money is.
Yeah.
So it's a tough.
Which means maybe wages do go up.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
right? They're going to have to, or there's going to have to be a different structure for employment.
Mm-hmm.
The last couple companies that I've worked for have been employee owned, right? So the better the company does, the better the people do.
And what did that do for them? Did they get like a bonus at the end of the year or something?
I mean,
that,
it just depends on what kind of structure they have set up, right?
Mhm.
They, some offer company shares, some offer additional monies into 401ks that they set up for people.
Okay.
It all depends. But if some thinking like that can be leveraged, you might have a better chance at minimizing the churn. Now, that takes away from revenues and profits that go to other people in the companies that tend to have salaries that don't necessarily fit with the lower waged people.
Yeah.
So there's a big disparity between those incomes.
Been a huge disparity growing over the years.
Huge.
Yeah.
So when are people going to say enough and really understand that those people standing on those lines for 8, 10, 12 hours a day are the backbone of your paycheck, right?
Yeah.
So how are we going to compensate them for doing a job that most of those people would never do?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the ticket. And then how do you keep people happy in their jobs, right? Is it
And then-
just giving them more money? I don't know.
Yeah.
They say that the intangibles are more important to the worker than the tangible.
Yeah.
So then that shifts the thought process to, okay, how do I improve the culture? Do we improve the culture by just giving people more money?
Right.
Or do we improve the culture by making it a place where you're excited to go to work and you're learning and it's collaborative and you get some sort of value out of doing your job instead of just a paycheck?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've got this bike ride event I do up in the UP, and I have jerseys made for the bike. There's camo ones there, and I don't know if I got a plaid one right there, but when you get all 10 done, you get this plaid jersey, and you get put in the Hall of Plaid. It's a big deal.
Right.
So the jersey company I was working with, I worked with them because they produced in America,
Hmm?
and then worked with them for a number of years. And then one year they started acting a little bit weird. I couldn't tell. The communication was different. I felt like they weren't telling me something.
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough, they shipped manufacturing out of the country. And they were making it, but it was a very appealing. I mean, I understand why they would want to do it. They said we could sell our building, we could sell all of our equipment. We don't have that overhead anymore. And they're basically now just a middleman. So basically, I don't know, middleman. They're a jersey
A distributor.
designer. Yeah, they're a
Okay.
jersey designer
Mm-hmm.
that gets a piece of the cut of the end price of the jersey. They pay it. Over here, they don't have any overhead in the warehouse at all.
Mhm.
Material, whatever.
Yeah, they find a supplier that can
Yeah.
make it cheap, send them to them, they box it and send it
they
out.
design it. They have it made. You pay the price, and then they take a cut.
Sure.
I get the appeal to that, and so it's complicated, isn't it? Because
It is.
that can be done over and over and over again
Mhm.
at a lot of different companies.
Absolutely.
Too much pressure, too much overhead, too much angst, too much headache. I'll just cut it, and I'll get it made somewhere else, and then we get rid of that whole section of the company.
Wipe it out. And the profits go to who?
Yeah.
Right?
So I changed jersey companies,
there
obviously.
you go. Good.
But I see. You can understand how it happens.
Oh,
And-
absolutely.
And
It's
I don't
all
know.
about cost
The
and
government
profits.
can strong arm to say that you can't do that, but they have limited tools, penalty or incentive, tariffs, taxes. It's always taxes. That's what the government's tools are. They can either tax you or they can give you a tax break. But really,
Right.
that's
I mean, look at the tax
That's
rates they
cool.
gave on electric vehicles
Right.
2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Everybody was running to get that $7,800 back on their taxes, and
Yeah.
they get the vehicles a little bit more reasonable. That's all gone.
Yeah.
Who's going to buy EV now?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Too bad that's needed. I don't know.
I don't know. It's it's scary when you think about it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, some of the corporate leaders, get paid an astronomical amount of money.
Yeah.
Why doesn't any of that trickle down to the people doing the work? Mm-hmm.
I don't know what changes that.
I don't know what changes it. Unless you're with a company that really, really, truly values their employees.
Yeah.
And then you got an opportunity to succeed, right? Because
Yeah.
then everything goes. Your quality is better, your throughput's better, your attendance is better, your people are happy, right? Your name in the community is good, right?
Yeah.
So you're attracting people. Referrals are better. You get along with your customers; they're happier, right? But when it's not like that, it's a constant battle.
Yeah.
It's a tough gig.
I wonder if there's got to be something out there that kind of grades companies from
Oh.
that holistic respect.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of different
Yeah.
places that go into companies and give them an evaluation of their current manufacturing processes, and but that again,
Employee
that
satisfaction.
yeah, and that all costs money too, right? To
Yeah.
bring all that in to figure out where you're at, and
Yeah.
to tell you what your employees think about you, and then you have to develop action plans to fix all
Yeah.
that stuff. I mean, it's not a simple thing.
All right. So bottom line on is we don't know where the outcome ends up, but we do know we've got to educate young people to do more than just go to college, because they don't all want to go. They shouldn't all go. And a lot of people want to do a lot of different things. So we should educate around that, and certainly reward that, and not make somebody feel like less than because they're not getting their college ready degree out of high school.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine if I would have, instead of going to college, instead of going to graduate school, I would have just entered the workforce in a career, I could have learned there, right? But are those jobs available to teach people,
Yeah.
right? Is our high schools preparing people to enter the job market, or are they just preparing to go to college?
Yeah, it's been preparing to go to college. I
Right.
think it's shifting.
And I hope
I
so.
hope
I
so.
hope so too.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, some of these people coming out of high school that have, an inclination to go into the trades, that's fantastic,
yeah.
right? And then why aren't companies hiring those people right out of school to say, here's an apprenticeship, we're going to teach you all these things, and then you have to guarantee employment for X amount of years, right? There's got to be a system that works better than the system
Yeah.
now.
So we shifted away from embracing something other than college. Hopefully, we can change that. There's no, I don't know. There's no like amazing thing the government can do. They can incentivize or they can punish you, but it's not like I don't know. They can want to see manufacturing come back to the country, but it's very difficult for them to force that to happen or incentivize that to happen in a method that companies can rely on it for the next 10 or 20 years, because we got elections every 4 years for a new
And the mindset
administration.
shifts, right?
So that's tough. But then it also sounds like the success of manufacturing really comes down to the company itself. And
I think it does.
And the compensation of those employees comes down to company by company by company.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think they try to stay similar,
Yeah.
but when are we going to get a company that takes a risk and does something different?
Yeah.
That's when we'll see whether or not it eliminates churn and offers people a career for 20, 30 years
Yeah.
and then a life afterwards. I don't know. I don't really see companies doing that yet.
All right. So that's what we're on the lookout for.
That's what we're on the lookout for, right?
Yeah.
But those companies have to be based and truly leveraged in their community,
Yeah.
right? There has to be some sort of outreach that prepares people to get into manufacturing. Not just say, oh, I'm going to go work at Ford and stand on the line and do that, but what value as a person entering the job market are you bringing to the table, right? Are you just saying, I'm going to do this job, and then when something else pops up, I'm going to leave this job and go there, and then go there and go there, right?
Yeah.
We got to minimize the churn so people have an opportunity to grow and learn in their careers. And right now, it's not always available, which makes it really tough. It makes it tough to keep people and have them learn the processes and the standards that go into manufacturing something for a consumer that relies on your product, right? It's hard to find.
Do you know if churn's any different in big towns or small towns?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like, I think, like, my town of Manistee, like, we had the paper mill. Like, you're not leaving the paper mill.
Not if you get a job at the paper mill. Is probably the best job in
Yeah.
town.
But if my town of Manistee down here, there is no town like my town of Manistee.
Nope.
You're surrounded by other towns.
Yeah.
And so there's another paper mill, and another paper mill, another paper mill, another paper mill. I don't know. Just curious. I wonder if churn is different if you put your roots up in a smaller community. I wonder if you hang on to them longer.
I think the smaller communities maybe a sense of belonging when you're in that community, but
Yeah.
a lot of these manufacturing jobs aren't in those smaller communities anymore, right? I mean, you look at, like, if you go, let's say, down South Carolina, North Carolina, manufacturing's booming there.
Okay.
But there's people are jumping around from job to job just for a couple bucks more an hour, right?
Why is it booming down there?
Oh, geez. That's a really good question.
I keep seeing article after article after article about the Carolinas. This is going there. This is going there.
I mean, I have opinions, but
Yeah.
it's just my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, it's a nice climate,
Yeah.
right? It's
I know it's hot as hell. in the
Well, it is.
summertime.
It's an untapped resource, right?
Yeah.
They haven't had those types of manufacturing jobs ever.
Yeah.
I mean, where was manufacturing?
Yeah.
Michigan,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, Ohio,
Yeah.
Midwest,
Yeah.
right? Now they're venturing outside of that, and I think there's a lot of incentives for companies to go down there and set up shop. Obviously, the manpower is available. They have people looking for work because it's some of those areas are economically burdened
Yeah.
by the lack of opportunity.
Yeah.
I think that's probably why it started migrating down there.
Yeah. I know it's pretty lively.
And you don't have to deal with weather,
Yeah.
right? There's no snow. People can get to work easily,
Yeah. I
right?
don't know. Owen was part of that flood last year.
I don't know. It's pretty hot down there. I got to give them credit. Oof.
Yeah.
I was in an air conditioning plant, though.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It was totally different.
He
But,
was in Boone when that flood went through.
man, that was a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, manufacturing is just it's a tough environment. It's tough to get things right. I mean, the customers are demanding. The expectations are
Yeah.
flawless execution of what they're paying for, right?
Yeah.
And things happen, and some companies can't shift and don't have the skills to shift right away, and then they get in trouble,
Yeah.
right? So about sticking to the standard.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's possible.
I think
We can
yeah,
produce here.
absolutely.
You've been doing it your whole career.
I mean,
Yeah.
we'll always produce.
Yeah.
I think it's just as to what level.
Yeah.
But if we don't do something about the workforce and understanding the true needs of our country, it could get messy.
The needs of the people of our country.
Absolutely. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the people make, right? We can't have these huge gaps. It's just not right.
Yeah.
I mean, we're costing people out of life, a fair, safe,
Yeah.
prosperous, a fun life, because they don't have the resources
Yeah.
to do the things that I guess make life great.
Yeah, this income disparity is a huge one. It's we've got some we did a lot of research on that. I've got some charts that show the. Let's see if I get this right. The top 10% of taxpayers in our country used to make up. We should put this up to make sure I don't get it wrong, but they used to make up like 20% of national income, and now they make up 40 or 50% of national income.
I wouldn't doubt that, even if that's not right.
But even more, I think this is weird too and bad, is they pay 70, 75% of the entire tax bill. And the bottom 40% of the taxpayers of our country net get money back, meaning they don't pay a federal tax.
Right.
They actually receive money. And that's no shame on them. They don't make enough money.
Right.
That's the tax code.
It is.
They're not screwing the system.
Right.
They don't make enough money to even register to pay a tax. That's 40% of the taxpayers of our country. It doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
So we have a huge disproportionate amount of income earned by a smaller portion of the country. But then also the tax, no, it's 5% that pay 70%. I think 10% of the country pays 90% of the tax bill. Can you look it up? Oh, what does it say? Oh, yeah, I don't know. We'll throw that up so I make sure I don't have it wrong.
It's disparaging, though.
It's huge. It's a bad system that you need 90% of your income coming from, call it 10 or 15% of your base.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever as a government. But the fact is that not enough people make enough money to even pay $1. That's horrible.
Right. Imagine the people that are paying taxes. Who's that?
Yeah.
There goes your middle class.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's an issue. I don't know. I have this daydream that we become a manufacturing, entity again. I drive by these small towns and you see these plants that have shut down and never came back, and then the place was never the same again. Even Pontiac, right up the road from here, never the same again.
Right.
Flint, you lose some plants, never the same again.
All right.
So we've got this, back in the glory days when that was strong and people had good wages and we produced things and made things. I hope that can come back.
And I mean, the wages were on equal playing field too with the cost of living, right? Yeah. As the cost of living has risen, has our income risen proportionately to afford life?
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, I would say not.
Yeah.
James,
right.
I got a quick Google search. It's not your data, but it's top 10% of taxpayers in 2022 paid 72.3% of taxes.
Yeah. Okay. That's
crazy.
That sounds right. So, all right. Well,
so, I mean, there's an opportunity to bring manufacturing back, but we have to make some changes.
Yeah.
And view manufacturing as an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Not just, I'm just going to work here. It's just a job. Oh, things can't be just a job anymore.
Yeah.
People need careers and longevity and opportunity and change, right?
Yeah.
So once we figure that equation out, maybe we'll get the answers we're looking for.
Yep.
I don't know.
Well, I got one more question for you, but
Yeah.
Before I ask that, do you have anything else that you wanted to talk about or share?
No, I mean, manufacturing's not for everyone either, right?
Yeah.
It's a tough grind. It's a grind, right? I mean, day in and day out, monotonous work for the people that are working on the lines, for people that go in and have to fix things and deal with problems all day long.
Yeah.
I just hope that people understand that it's not just something simple you do and show up and put a part on a part and
Yeah.
it's that easy. It's a tough job.
Who's drawn to it? There's got to be there's got to be people there that truly love what they're doing.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that love to go in and say,
Yeah.
okay, this is my job. These are the ABCs. I'm going to do my job and go home and get paid well and feel rewarded for that.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to necessarily be challenged with all the different intricacies that go on with that. That's what they like to do, right?
Yeah.
But they're not easy jobs, and the people that are in manufacturing, I think, somehow need to be appreciated.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a, you know, in today's immediate gratification and social media and all the craziness that's going on in the world, you know, you forget about the woman that wakes up and says goodbye to her kids and goes works in a factory for 12 hours a day, then comes home and cooks and cleans and does all these other things that single moms do.
Yeah.
It's not really glorified, but man, that's a heck of an American to do that.
You know,
It's hard to do.
I look back at some of the ads when we were kids and stuff, and they did glorify it more back then, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
I
I
forgot
mean, those
about
jobs
that.
were coveted.
Yeah.
You know, you see someone walk around with a Ford jacket on.
People were thanked and celebrated, and yeah, I forgot about
and now
that.
now it's not maybe
Yeah.
glamorized as much as it used to be,
Yeah.
but that's
Well,
the
when you-
backbone of the country.
Well, when we shifted toward a college or nothing, then you start to look down on certain things, certain jobs people can. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. As a
Until you go in there and see what they're doing
yeah.
and really understand,
Yeah.
it's a whole different perspective.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, that's a part of the shift as well.
Yeah.
So,
Well, big thanks to all the people that are doing it.
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
You get those industrial athletes. I'll tell you what, I saw a guy, God, this was a long time ago, on a frame line. And they've got similar gimmicks to this little hookup that you're making. And
Okay.
essentially, they got these hooks. They're like literally meat hooks hanging
Okay.
down from chains,
Yeah.
right? And they throw, I don't know how they do it, but this guy was an industrial ballet magician.
Yeah.
He'd toss his hook and it'd hook right onto the frame. He'd toss this other one hook right onto the frame. He'd lift it up. This thing would come up to him. He'd flip over
Yeah.
and set it down on another. I'm like, how
Yeah.
in God's name does he do that on a frame of a pickup truck?
Yeah.
It looked effortless.
Yeah.
They do it.
Yeah.
They're skilled workers.
Yeah.
Might not be glamorous. Certainly is effective.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
All right. Well, the name of this podcast is,
Wealth is a choice. Boom.
and to me, wealth means abundance. When we're talking about it, it doesn't always mean money.
Mhm.
It can mean health, family,
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
Can mean money.
Yeah.
Could be athleticism. Could be all kinds of things. But the question we like to ask all of our guests at the end is, what is, and whatever wealth means to you at this moment, do you think that wealth is a choice?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. If you're not experiencing wealth in terms of a descriptive word, maybe the things that make you happy, you're wealthy, right?
Yeah.
The things that make you feel wanted. If you're not getting those things, then you're choosing the wrong avenue, right? You're
Yeah.
walking down the wrong road.
Yeah.
You can always shift, and sometimes you're not wealthy. And then what do?
Yeah.
You got to analyze all the inputs to get the outputs. And people that don't have that opportunity, that's sad, right? So I think it is a choice. We just need to be cognizant of what brings you wealth.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you made a choice to change your job to have it closer to your
Yeah, a little
house.
bit, a little bit more free
I
time.
haven't seen you much in the last 20 years, but I'm
Oh,
hoping
my
the next
God.
20 I'm going to see you a lot.
It's been a journey.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. A lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm proud of you, bro. This is a good thing.
Yeah. Tings, man.
Good for you.
All right. Love you, brother.
All right. Love you.